how do I use AI to improve efficiencies inside my business? Is AI going to replace all my employees? Partners are now being expected to become educators beyond just business people.
Be that thinker, be a thought partner with your customers. And thought partnership starts with being able to ask great questions. Hi, Paul. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Sonny, how are you?
I am doing well, sir. Thank you for being here with me and ready to share our experiences from 2025 and our thinking for 2026. That is what Sonny's Silver Lining all about when it comes to the channel podcast. And we will start with your journey, Paul. Ninja have done amazing in the channel. You are well respected. And the way you think about partnerships, the way you show up in the channel, a lot of people admire your approach as a business. But let's start with your origin story.
So, NinjaOne was born in the MSP channel. Our founder had done this a few times. If you look back, was actually one of the guys that started Anchor and successfully sold that into eFolder. Sal his DNA is in the MSP space. And thankfully, we have not lost that. We originally Ninja RMM and Ninja MSP and eventually NinjaOne. I think that the name change, if you will, actually tells a little bit of the journey. We moved from a singular tool to a true platform for MSPs to be able to deliver amazing results to their client and have incredible visibility and control in the stack they deliver.
That is awesome. So what is so unique that I think in such a short time period, you guys have done far, far better than any other channel company out there? What's the secret sauce?
It's the culture and the DNA here. I mean, if you look at it, I was an MSP for a very long time. I've only actually been at Ninja since August of 2025. And one of the things that struck me as I started this conversation was this incredible MSP focused culture. And the second piece of it is product first, quality above all, right? So it's ingrained into who we are. We spend about 3 times on product and development what we should, if you look at the average in the industry. Our focus is on support and product build first, and then we sell, right? So I'm not going to pick on anybody in particular, but I do think in this space, there has been historically a lot of channel vendors that come out, deliver a strong product initially, and then put all of their money into sales and marketing. It's simply about growing revenue, EBITDA, whatever your target is. At NinjaOne, it is about delivering what the partners need first, because that will grow our business.
Yeah, partner first approach always wins. In culture, there is so much value in keeping your culture strong, because that's where your team can do amazing work to make that impact on the partners. So, you're a thought leader in the channel. You go to a lot of different events. You talk to a lot of MSPs. What are you sensing right now, Paul, when it comes to challenges that MSPs are facing today?
The best way to put it is the MSPs that I talk to do feel that we're kind of like in an inflection point in this industry. If you go back, I say this a lot, if you go back to when I was an MSP, my customers wanted me to make the computer work fast. They wanted it to work all the time, and they didn't care how that happened. As a matter of fact, it was the opposite. Don't tell me, don't talk to me about it. Just go in your little IT cave and make stuff work, right? That's not the case anymore. Now your customers are going to you and saying, hey, how do I use AI to improve efficiencies inside my business? Is AI going to replace all my employees? How does AI affect my personal life? And that's just one little microcosmic piece of it, right? The partners are now being expected to become educators beyond just business people and beyond IT people, for sure. The customer is looking for business outcomes in a new way, and that creates a whole new set of challenges for MSPs.
Yeah, no, that's a very kind of balanced perspective. And I think where it comes from is you being able to live both side of the fence as a MSP and now someone who is helping MSPs in the space. And I think that gives you like a very unique experience, unique strength, where you can see things from both sides. And I do remember as a MSP owner, like a founder who started my MSP in New York City, and this was 2003 when everything was about, hey, go fix my computer or server, a lot of Exchange servers back then. And then things started moving to cloud. Yeah, and it was more on how can you deliver based on my predictable IT expense as a cloud services or server as a service rather than they buying hardware. Then things moved from a lot of things did move from closet to cloud, and then within the cloud, then cybersecurity became a big challenge for SMBs, and it's more, hey, not only that you give me predictable budget and the value from that budget with my IT experience, make sure that the information is secure. Like we are not like from the cyber attacks point of view, a lot of cybersecurity focus, and now to your point is a lot more on, hey, how can I be more of a intelligence provider as a MSP, and that is being activated by SMB's demand that, hey, don't just give me all you can eat package or managed services package, give me outcomes. Charge me based on the outcomes that you produce. And how can I be more better, faster with AI? How do I think about AI? How can I assess my business in terms of where we stand and where we can go? So there is a lot of need out there. So now looking at those challenges, Paul, what are the trends that you predict when it comes to 2026? Or if you have some advice for our MSP friends for them to do well in 2026, what is that advice?
I think you've got to get deeper with your client relationships. I think you have to start looking at that as, where can I deliver business outcomes as opposed to technology? How can I be proactive in this? A great example that I've seen recently would be sitting down with your client and talking to them about things like how they're going to use this new technology to cut down the things that frustrate them every day. Having a conversation, not about slow computers, but hey, what are the 3 most frustrating things on a day-to-day basis in your business, and how can we overcome these together? That's not a conversation that the average MSP is always so comfortable having, but it's one that we're going to be forced into, especially in the coming years, right? Another thing that I would say is that the foregone conclusion that, the client understands cybersecurity and why we're doing these things is incorrect. Even though it's in the news every day, even though we see all these hacks and you see all this talk around breaches, the average, especially small business owner, still, I think, very much believes it can't happen to me. It won't happen to me. What are the odds it happens to me, right? So the way I explain it is, like your journey, first it was get out of break fix, get into a subscription model, then out of the closet into the cloud, out of the cloud into cybersecurity. Now it's become an educator. And that's a completely different evolutionary step than everything that's led up to this. So I think change is going to be the dominant factor in the coming 2026 and beyond. And it all boils down to, how do I differentiate myself through what we're talking about now from the litany of basically IT services out there?
Yeah, that is well said. So what I'm hearing you say, Paul, is that be that thinker, be a thought partner with your customers. And thought partnership starts with being able to ask great questions. And questions like, what are the top 3 areas? The one question that you shared, that MSPs asking their customers, what are the biggest 3 challenges? What do you see where the friction is, right? So being able to really identify that friction with your customer, and then being able to be that fuel to remove that friction. So big friction fuel.
Yeah, I like that.
Asking questions where you can be friction fuel as a MSP, as their thought partner, and basically providing thought leadership, right? That is what it really comes down to, because the future of teamwork, it could be teamwork internally in companies or teamwork as partners, is going to be based on where humans will think in the org chart and agents will act.
I think that's
humans will think, agents will act. And as a MSP, if you can be the thought leader, if you can think, and ask questions where you can also help them think through their thinking. I mean, MSP being able to ask questions to think, to help the SMB think about their thinking, that's where the friction will come out. Okay, here are my top three obstacles or top three threats to my business. And that's where you can bring solutions that can help them overcome those obstacles. And that's where the value creation will create value for you as a byproduct. And now let's take that thinking into NinjaOne. What is the friction that you see with your customers and how you are becoming friction fuel from the product market fit point of view or value creation for MSP's point of view? What friction are you seeing and how you are becoming that fuel for your MSP customers?
One of the incredible things about about NinjaOne is, I am far from the only former MSP in this business. There's especially our product team is absolutely filled with folks that have been on both sides of this fence and built successful MSPs and frankly learned from their mistakes, learned from their successes and brought it to bear here. So I don't think, and I'll sound arrogant when I say it, but I'm very proud of this fact. I don't think we have a product market fit problem at all. I think product market fit is probably one of the most powerful pieces of what we do, where it's not necessarily friction. Where I think we can build more and do better is in enabling our partners to go on the journey that you and I are talking. Partner enablement through things that go beyond teaching them to use technology or teaching them to use our tool, teaching them to sell our tool, but actually talking to them about this right here, teaching them how to improve their sales process, improve their marketing processes, and improve the relationship with the client by delivering these business outcomes we're talking about. So the word of the day at NinjaOne is enablement. We feel that that's the thing that we have to bring to the market for our partners. That's the thing that our partners are asking for the most and what's going to have the most impact on them downstream. So in 2026 and beyond, enablement is one of our, if not our single largest focus.
Yeah, so partner enablement is the fuel that you're providing to the channel.
Yep.
And when it comes to that, who's your ideal customer, Paul? So when you think about your ideal customer, who are you helping? Who are you looking for?
Again, I'll sound redundant when I say it, but the MSPs are at the core of this business. We do sell to the direct market. As a matter of fact, we actually use the funds that come in through the direct side. In many ways, that revenue that comes in from there allows us to move faster, more nimbly, build faster, better tools, right? So I think that while we'll work with everybody, really MSPs, as they grow and mature, will always be the primary focus of NinjaOne. And therefore, we're looking for the folks that want to grow their business. We're looking for the ones that want help and that recognize that, it's not about the delivery of a tool stack anymore. It's about this, if we're enabling the partners, then you need to enable your customers. And sometimes, I'll give you a great example. We have a partner that's working with their customers to implement a signature solution. Sounds like something completely out of the scale of MSP, but it's not. They're actually building in email signatures that include, seasonal campaigns, ad-driven solutions inside those signatures. And so therefore, all of the sudden, what they're delivering to their customer is a way to make more money. It's a way to strengthen their own customer relationships. It's a way to improve the business and look bigger and more, like a higher quality business. And so, we want to work with all MSPs, but we're especially excited when we run into the ones that come into this with that growth mindset that say, hey, I'm at $1 million now, I need to get to 3. I'm at 3, I need to get to 5. I'm at 5, I want to get to 25, right? It's all about growth in 2025, and it's going to be even more so in 2026.
Yeah, so partner enablement to help their growth strategy is the main why. Paul, as you know, there are multiple platforms when it comes to especially MSPs. There could be other platforms where they're trying to solve the same problem. My question is, what is so unique about NinjaOne? Like, what are the top 1 or 2 or 3 uniques about NinjaOne?
One of the most important things for me, for people to understand, is the way that leadership is structured here. This is still a privately controlled company completely. despite the fact that we're a multi-billion-dollar evaluation, despite the fact that we've got, 18 or 19,000 partners, 33,000 customers, it's amazing how incredible of a job that Sal and Chris and the team have done in building this culture that sticks and stays and doesn't move as we go upstream. It doesn't kind of crumble in the way that, many large platforms have. I think that the focus of leadership on delivering a quality solution for our partners, the focus on, the first thing that Sal said when I met him was, I want everybody to understand we don't steal your customers. There's actually an entire Reddit thread of internal IT teams pissed off at us because if you're working with a partner, we won't just let you break that relationship and go around that partner. We view them as our partner too. And therefore, we want to keep that revenue on their side. We are MSP and partner first. I think that evolution happens within companies, and especially as you experience the incredible rapid growth that NinjaOne has, it's very easy to lose that focus. And through the dynamic leadership all the way from the top down, it's a very flat organization, despite being so large. I think that's really incredible and makes us very unique, powerful, and nimble.
Yeah, that's a great mindset. And now, before we started this podcast conversation, you were talking about your own kind of conference, NinjaOne conference, and I think you mentioned that there's a CRN article on that, so it's public information. I would like you to share that information with our listeners. When is that conference? Where is happening? Where can people go and find more information?
Yep. Ms. CJ released that this morning. CRN got the exclusive on that one. It's going to be October 27th through the 29th in Austin, which is where we're based. We're going to do the Marriott Austin there. We are going to focus this on kind of a multi-track approach where we want engineers, C-level, sales and marketing to be able to kind of choose tracks within the program itself. And our big thing is that it's not a trade show where the focus is going to be letting, you sit there and get pitched to and sold to. It's not all PowerPoint presentations, just one after the other. We want you to come away with actionable items that you can implement into your part of your business, whether you're an engineer, an owner, operator, or, the sales lead. And we want you to come back and say, holy crap, that was amazing. When is next year? So, and I'll tease this as well. I did say this to CJ in the article. We're not going to open breakfast at 7 a.m. We're not here to punish you for showing up. We think it's totally reasonable that, you can eat breakfast through 8 or 9 o'clock, and then we can all get started and be done at a reasonable hour. We're also not going to run it till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the last day, and watch everybody scramble to get to the airport and sleep on the plane, right? We recognize that these people, including the vendor sponsors that are going to be there, have businesses to run, lives to lead. We want it to be quick. We want the content to be powerful, and we want you to walk away wanting more.
So October 2026.
Yep. End of October 27th through 29th. There's a large conference-sized hole there.
No, I've been to that property. It's beautiful. And especially the 7 a.m. Schedule, Paul, is hard in Vegas and Miami.
Really?
I'm glad that it's in Austin, so it should be okay. Even kind of really,
I've been doing this a long time. So have you. I think that it's something when you do your own conference, and we all have a tendency to do it. But you're so excited about your content, you want the partners to get so much out of it. So we started at the absolute crack of dawn, and we forget that we kept you up till midnight last night too, with the entertainment or the keynote or the party or whatever we did, right? So we want this to be intense and powerful, but not exhausting.
Yeah, well said. No, we will share resources or link to your conference information. Anything else that you want to share? Any other piece of advice for MSP partners?
Well, I'll leave one piece of advice on the conference. You're going to want to register early. We do have an attendance cap on it, and we have already had incredible response. My phone has blown up all morning since we announced this thing. So I would strongly recommend as soon as we get everything out and you can register, go ahead and do that, because we are going to be firm in our cap. We also don't want to blow this thing out to the point where nobody gets what they're looking for out of it. It's first time doing it at this scale. Separate for our conference, I think you and I have talked about it a lot, but the best piece of advice I can give you right now as an MSP is embrace this change. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be the guy that in 2013 was going, I think this cloud thing is a fad, right? Like, didn't work out then. It's not going to work out now. Where we are headed is definitely going to be galvanized and changed through the AI technology, the automations and efficiencies that are being built right now. And so the partners that embrace that stuff and pull it in are going to look different, be more powerful, be a better solution for the businesses that they're trying to work with. And the other guys are going to look really old and like last year's business really fast. The evolution this time, the cloud took almost 10 years to truly adopt. This is going to happen much, much quicker. Be prepared and embrace, don't run from it.
Yeah, it's going to happen at New York City speed.
Man, it's going to happen at light speed. If you think about it, I'm an old guy. I am now moving into my, oh my God, what is happening phase in my life, where things that you really were science fiction as a kid are now just standard realities right now. I mean, I've got the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in my hand. It's right here. It's made by Apple. It's everything that book described. And we didn't know what the hell it was when I read it in the 80s. And now, I've got a little magnetic case on my guide. It's crazy how this has happened.
Yeah, every week there's just so much. I've been doing AI Accelerator for MSP leaders, and we come together for 2 hours every week. And every week, while we bring in a lot of content and guest speakers where they can teach MSPs on what's in the market, where they need to have their attention on. But at the same time, MSPs will bring their experiences there to the call. And we're having a lot of fun. But one thing that we're seeing last week, Gemini 3 was released. And it's like, every single week there's some new toys coming, and they're very powerful. And what I normally tell MSP fans is that it's not AI is going to replace MSPs. It's going to be MSPs that are AI powered. They will replace other MSPs, and MSPs where they're not adopting AI, they're not being those thought leaders for their customers. Their customer attention will be at risk. So there is that, embrace that change to your point and do that faster, because first to market will always win. And there is just so much opportunity there with new way of thinking and new way of helping SMBs as we being their technology solution providers. So rather than just technology solutions, be digital solutions there for them. And those people will win in 2026. There's a huge change already in progress, and you can be part of that change and lead that change. That way you are very successful as a MSP in 2026. And Paul, truly appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much. And thank you for your partnership with Build It. We really appreciate your partnership, your collaboration there. You guys are a great partner, and look forward to seeing you again in August at Build It in New York City.
It's my favorite city in the country. I worked up there for a long time, and if I go more than 6 months without going to the city, I feel like I itch or something. It drives me crazy. So excited to see you there.
Okay, see you there. Take care, Paul.
Thanks so much, Sonny. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you for watching Sonny's Silver Linings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.